In this video, I'd like to show you how to create a fully functional drawer slide, such as the one illustrated in the picture shown. You can download these from many vendors. This one has been taken from McMaster-Carr and is a 20-inch stroke. So let's get started. So what you're seeing is a download from McMaster-Carr of my linear slide bearing. Now it's a bunch of bodies. So you want to leave them in this position until we get them joined together. So let's take a look at the bodies first. I'm going to go ahead and look at the end view and rotate it around and zoom up a little bit. Now you'll notice there are some ball bearings and carriers. They're only partial anyway. We really don't need those. So identify those as bodies and get rid of them. To do that, just click on them, hold down the control key and click on them and find all of them. There they are, all of them highlighted. Now you want to right click and hit remove on top of one of them. Do not hit delete, otherwise you will have some issues. The next thing you want to notice is that there is a bumper at the rear that we want to be combined with the last section of track. So go to your combine command, which is under modify, and pick on that bumper and the last piece of track. You're going to join them together and end up making a new component, because we're going to turn the other things into components also. So say OK and we have a new component. Now that body still remains, and so does this one right there. We want to get rid of that. Again, remove that because it became a part of this component. We don't need it anymore. So we have two bodies and one component, which consists of that bumper. The next step will be to make these two last bodies into components. So again, you can select both of them, right click and say create components from bodies. We now have our three components. Now we can join them together. The next step we want to do is take some measurements so we can get our joints in the right position. So go to the end view again and then slightly move it off so you can see the back side and zoom up. Now if you have the Windows multi-clipboard, you can be sure it's empty and we can place our measurements directly on the clipboard for future use. If you do not have this installed, just get out a piece of paper and write them down. So we go to inspect and want to measure from this surface, be sure you pick on the surface, to this edge right there. That is that number 2.2718. Click on it to put it on the clipboard. Reset and do it again from this to that line right there, and that number is there. Click again to go to the clipboard. Close your measure tool, and then if you pull up your clipboard, you'll see I have both those dimensions. If not, you got them on a piece of paper. The next step will be add our slider joints. So go to joints, pick on slider if it's not already selected. You're looking for the first one, and that will be from this face, that point. Now if you have trouble finding it, just hover over the face and hold down the control key, and it will not go to any point except on this face. Pick this one, that's the far back side. Then you want to go over to here. Again, if you have trouble, hover, hold down the control key and pick the furthest one to the side. It's going to flip on you, so reverse it, and then you'll notice it's moved it way back here, so we need to move it back into position. So that movement will be positive in this case, so we'll click on that, our Windows clipboard, and pick on this number. Whoops, it's negative. I apologize. It is negative, so I'll just go up here and add a negative real quick. So it puts it in position. And say, okay, that's your first slider. Next thing you want to do, same thing, a slider joint between, again, this point right there And this, again, hover, hold down control key and pick that midpoint right there. It flips on you, flip it, and then you want to hit again a negative. So I just hit minus and my Windows clipboard and pick up the last dimension. It puts it into position. Say OK. Now you have both your slider joints in place. At this point you can drag it around if you want, but you notice it's not everything's moving. So what do we need to do? Reposition it, and then you want to ground this component in the back. So right click on that component and ground it. Now you can slide your slider joint, but it's not behaving correctly, but we need to fix it. So let's do that. First thing we want to do is get this in the right position. This stop hits against this. So what I would suggest you do is use an align command from your drop down and modify. Pick on the back side of this face and then touch this face and they'll line up. That is a flat to flat alignment. So now we can add our linear limits to this. So our next step is to add a limit to this joint movement, right? This slider, the last one we did, of 20 inches, because again, this is a 20-inch bearing. So I right click on slider 2. If you did in reverse order, it'd be different, but edit joint limits, minimum, maximum. Now I previously filled these in. This happens to be, the minimum is minus 20 because it's a negative movement, and 0 is the maximum. Yours could be reversed depending on your joint. But anyway, Fusion requires you to have the smallest number on top. Say OK, and that will make this so it can go no further than 20 inches. Revert it back to position. Okay, now the next thing you want to do is go in here and make a motion link between these two rails or these two joints. One slides half the speed of the other. So we'll go to motion link, pick on the two joints, and we will make them 2 to 1. Now you may have it backwards, which I do, so I'll make this 1 and this 2. Now you use any number that's 2 to 1. It doesn't matter. It could be 5 and 10, 1 to 2, whatever. Say OK. Now as you can see, when you slide that joint, it moves like a linear bearing would, and it stops at 20 inches. So you're all done. You have a fully functional linear slide for your projects. Hope this helped you do better modeling in Fusion 360.